Hello, booktubers. Boomer Bookings here. Trying a new tea called Assam. I'm not familiar with it, but it has a richer taste to it than the one I've been drinking, so I like it. I like it a lot. Just wanted to make a short booktube offering to let you know I'm alive and to let you know that I did get involved with the Trashy weekend. August 2.5, I think Ollie called it. And I read Luli by Peggy Gaddis. It was first printing was 1962. Originally it was called Kurasan, but they changed the name for the book, so I guess they could put this cover on it and help sell it. It kind of reminded me of the 1950s trashy books where you think, boy, this one's going to be saucy. And then you find that not quite so saucy as you thought. And then at the end, it gets kind of maudlin. And everybody ends up happy. But it starts out with a girl who is what my grandmother would have called white trash. We used to pass by little shacks in Georgia, and she'd say, "Don't look over there, that's white trash." Yeah. But anyway, that's how Luli's life started out. And she met a salesman. Isn't there always a salesman? Who said, "If you want to go with me, you can go with me." And she decided to go on a date with him, and he gave her a glass of gin, and she drank it down, and the next day she went home and her daddy threw her out. Said, "You're a trashy tart, and you can make your own life." And he threw her out. Now, I lived in a time when that actually happened, because my uncle and I found a girl that we knew in our neighborhood who was sitting in the rain at a local drive-in restaurant that we used to go to. And she was crying. And my uncle went up to her. This is my Uncle Clyde that I miss dearly because he passed away many years ago. But we grew up almost like brothers. But he went over to her and he said, "What's wrong, honey?" And she told him that she had gone out on a date. Her date had gotten her drunk, had had his way with her without her really knowing what was going on. And this was 3 months ago, and she knew now that she was pregnant. And when she told her daddy, he threw her out. So she had nowhere to go. And so Clyde led her over to the car and put her in the car. Got his coat or whatever and wrapped around her because she was soaking wet. And we drove over to where her home was, and she said, "He won't listen to you." And Clyde said, "Let me talk to him." And Clyde went up and talked to him. He knew the man. And after a few minutes, Clyde came out, asked her to step out of the car and come with him. Took her to the front door, and her daddy took her in his arms and led her into the house. And I always admired his handling of that. But that is what it was like back in those days. At any rate, she went from one man to another until she met the man that she knew she should marry. But you're going to have to read this book if you want to find out what happens. It was fun. Wasn't as trashy as I thought it was going to be, but what can you do? It was a fun read. Like I say, kind of maudlin at the end. Then I picked this one up. One chapter is Ellery Queen, and the next is Sherlock Holmes, because a friend of Ellery Queen was given a manuscript allegedly written by Dr. Watson. And that's how the story goes. I'm a little over halfway through, and it's a fun read. And that's it. That's all I've done. This one, I can't remember who suggested it. It might have been Ollie. Might have been somebody else. I just can't remember. Excuse me. I watch a lot of booktubers, and I watch a lot of pipe smoking folk. So after a while, get kind of confused. But this is a very good one, if you can find it. Finding these old copies, sometimes it's kind of difficult. I cleaned them both up so that they look a little better than what they did when I first got them. But that was my Garb August 2.5 weekend. I enjoy those. All right, folks. That was as much as I had this time. Take care of yourselves. God bless you. Till the next time. Bye-bye.